Hello, welcome back to another video. In this video today, we are going to be teaching you the basic principles of shadow work, how it can be applied in your life to transform your life in a very positive, very grounded, and very realistic way. We are covering the theory of how the entire process works, and I'll be running you step by step exactly what you need to do to get from where you are now into the position that you really want to be, that the position that you really dream to be in, so that you are more productive, so you have better communication, so you improve your relationships, not just with other people, but relationship with your own self. So let's get started. Human body is a machine and it has certain operational features. A lot of these features simply haven't been taught to us because of lack of insight, lack of knowledge. We live in a society that's very based on thought. And so thought gets all of the attention. What hasn't been taught to us is that feeling is actually one of the most powerful ways of changing your reality. It's a synchronicity, a fusion between both your thought and your feeling, between the conscious and the unconscious, working together that makes the machine actually tick over, actually gives you more manual control of your life, and actually gives you an ability to manifest in your life. The question is, the reality is, how are you really feeling? Now, feelings are kind of tricky. Here's where shadow work comes in. Feeling can be unfelt. You may be feeling an emotion that's been inside of your body, inside of your subconscious or unconscious mind. And it may be feeling a tremendously intense emotion, but because it's been suppressed or it's been pushed down within you, you can't mentally connect to the feeling. It's like it's numb, it's hidden from you. And so anything that you're going to be creating in your life is actually being created from these feelings. Now, it's actually something that is responsible for 90% of diseases as well. So, how are you feeling in the unconscious? What have you been hiding from? What have you been suppressing? By theoretically getting to know these parts and bringing them all to the surface and allowing yourself to get a clear perspective of your emotional body. Now, this gives you great power. This gives you great clarity because you become more embodied in the real you, how you actually feel about yourself, how you actually feel about the world. And once you completely master that, you get in touch with all of this and any parts of you that you feel are grounded in a time or a situation that is not useful, you transform it. You work with that part of you to transform it into something better. And now you feel better about the world. Now you feel better about the people around you. Now you can allow for higher expectations, higher feelings of deserving, higher visions of what you're capable of. And you've expanded your consciousness, you've expanded your potential. And this is the process of shadow. Now, this is a precursor. Before you want to manifest or create anything big in your life, this is the crucial first step that people seem to miss, and it is the most important step. So, when we prime ourselves by doing the shadow work, now we're in a state of power that we can start to outwardly create in our world that which we can imagine. We can imagine better things, more deserving things, more powerful things, more profound things, more connective things. Now, this is how it improves your communication with others. If you no longer distrust anyone that has the characteristics of having curly hair, because maybe an ex used to have curly hair and maybe they lied to you really badly, and now you subconsciously don't connect to people with curly hair anymore. You don't trust them. You see that as an inherent danger or a flaw in their character. And so while you've been pushing away 3 people in your life with curly hair, Now you approach them. And now you're able to have a dialogue, and now you're able to discover, oh my God, this person is actually amazing. And we have this great connection. And I've been attributing it subconsciously to curly hair this whole time. And now you have a back and forth. You've expanded your social circle. That's a small example. It can go from small examples to very big examples. A big example may look like you don't believe that you can associate with hyper positive people, people who are very successful, people who are higher up on the social rung than you are, because you've been believing for a long time now that you are not worthy of associating with these people. You've picked up an inherent character flaw, which is I'm lower on the rung socially than these people because you were told something when you're very young about it and you inherently embodied it. Now you've processed this trauma, you've moved past, now you're starting to associate up. Now you're starting to associate with people who are inherently more successful than you, and that's lifting up your game. So that's a larger example of how it can really start to change things for you. Now, the same can be said for your productivity at work. Maybe you're happy doing the 9 to 5, not being ambitious. Maybe there's opportunities in your workplace that you haven't really gone for because of this whole worthiness issue, because of this whole self-perception issue that you're down here rather than you're actually here as a human being. You've changed that. And now you're starting to notice opportunities. Now you're starting to notice what you actually could do. It's like your perception starts to open up a bit more and you get to see with greater clarity some of the opportunities which are around you, which were all in your face this whole time that you haven't noticed because you've automatically blocked it. You've automatically stopped yourself from seeing it. Now, because you've done this work, you're starting to see opportunities in the workplace that you never saw before and believing in yourself enough to actually go for it. Now you're starting to climb the corporate ladder. Now you're starting to move up in the workplace. Now you're starting to be brave enough to share ideas of innovation. Now you have innovation ideas, and now they're starting to notice you at the top and they're starting to consider giving you opportunities. This is all transformation. Now, what about one of the more exciting things that people in the spiritual field love to talk about, which is manifestation? So, this is the same principle. If you hold a certain energy or resonance within you on an emotional and a mental level, and you picture it, your brain cannot tell the difference between what you imagine and what is real. It thinks they're exactly the same thing. And so, what a lot of the spiritual, what a lot of the spiritual teachers will say is that if you hold an image, an emotional resonance, and you hold this in your mind for prolonged periods of time, what's going to happen is the brain will start to see that as reality, and it's going to start to act in ways that is in accordance with that reality. And so, funnily enough, you'll just walk your way right into that position, right into exactly what you're imagining as a resonance factor. And this is actually a very powerful technique. However, what they're not teaching you, a lot of them are not teaching you, is that your unconscious feelings, your unconscious beliefs, they don't just magically transform and get in alignment with whatever you're picturing and imagining. No, they stay exactly the way they are. And the longer they're staying unconscious, they're getting blacker and denser and harder to deal with. And so, as a basis of spiritual practice, and this is what I am teaching here, it's first you do the shadow work, then you 10 times your manifestation power. You can create anything you want once you've done this work. Now, again, this is all the theory behind shadow work and why I'm so excited about it, why I've dedicated myself to it, because I know that you can do anything with this. It's a very powerful modality. And this is why I teach it every single day here on this channel. So, what can you imagine your life to be? What are some things that really excite you? It's a good practice to start each day, write a list, or just give yourself 5 minutes to think. What do I want my life to look like? What are some of the wonderful things in life that I wish to achieve? What are some things that really excite me? get me passionate, get me into the moment. And those are the targets that you should be aiming for. Those are the things that you are going to achieve if you do this work. Those are the things that you're going to start to live if you do this work. You have to process the things inside of you which are holding you back from getting it. You have to challenge your limiting beliefs by going to, how did this limiting belief start? What is the original memory of this limiting belief? And as you process that, bing, bang, boom, now you're available to actually achieve your dreams. You weren't before. You're going to hold yourself back, self-sabotage, keep doing the same thing over and over. You're stuck in a loop. Do you see how powerful this is? So this is the theory. This is the things that it can do for you. And if you want to know more, subscribe to my channel, like my videos. Every day, I'm going to get more and more in depth into this. I'm going to teach you more and more about how to do this process. If you ever want to speak to me one-on-one, I'm always available. Love you guys. See you next time.